Imagine training for days, flying to Spa, giving it everything, and then hearing this on the radio. No tough luck, mate? No, we'll bounce back? Just that? It sounded like he was reading a bus schedule, not talking to a 7-time world champion. If it were Bono, it'd be, "Aw, Lewis, mate, tough break. We'll get them next time." But nope, just P16. Cold, dry, dead inside. And that was just the beginning of Ferrari's Spa nightmare. First, he spins in the sprint quali, P18. Then, fastest lap in quali. Boom, track limits, gone. Ends up P16. Feels like it's 2009 all over again. And Hamilton, just sitting there like, am I out? And Adami drops the coldest yeah ever recorded. And the worst part? That radio was just the beginning. Spa was about to eat Ferrari alive. BRO. Where's the empathy? The emotional support engineer? The guy who gets it? Instead, we got a man reading P16 like it's an Excel cell with a formula error. Now look, I get it. Ferrari doesn't do hugs. They do spreadsheets on fire. But you just can't treat Hamilton like an intern who parked in the wrong garage bay. This is Lewis. 7 world titles. Hundreds of iconic radios. A living archive of motorsport emotion. And now, getting hit with, yeah, that's it. No damage report. No encouragement, not even a "we'll review the data." It's not just about a lap time, it's about respect, about the bond between driver and engineer, the heartbeat of a race weekend. At Mercedes, that bond was unshakable. At Ferrari, right now it sounds like Lewis is talking to Siri with a headset from 2010, and yet he owns it, every time. Just really sorry to the team? Unacceptable. It is what it is. That's a champion. No finger pointing, no tantrums, just responsibility. Meanwhile, Leclerc's 1 spot ahead, probably sipping espresso, complaining about understeer, and blaming tire pressures. Business as usual. And Fred Vasseur, still managing everything with the charisma of a printer setup wizard. Well, you need... Yes, Fred. We know. Spa is 70% confidence, 20% bravery, and 10% hoping the car doesn't hydroplane into a different time zone. Let's be honest, Lewis hasn't seen this many Q1 exits since ever. He went from overcutting Alonso and Vettel to getting overcut by Haas. It's not just Spa, it's the erosion of rhythm, trust, and performance. And when your radio guy sounds like the last message of a chatbot trial version, it doesn't help. Still, even after all that, Lewis doesn't flinch. He resets, he refocuses, he stays the standard. And that's why this moment matters, because it shows just how brutal F1 can be, even for the greatest of all time. So next time he nails a quali lap, give the man a proper radio, not yeah. P16, like it's a delivery status update. Ferrari hyped it up. This will relaunch our season, they said. New suspension, big gains, Spa domination. And then they tested it at Mugello with Hamilton and Leclerc, and both basically said, yeah, it's the same damn car. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Scuderia's grand illusion, where the car's still bouncing, the steering still sucks, and apparently the only thing getting upgraded is the simulation team's imagination. Let's rewind a bit. Since Australia, the Ferrari SF25 has had ride height issues so bad, you'd think they were trying to race under the track. Then came China, where Hamilton won the sprint and then got disqualified for grinding the plank into sawdust. Ferrari's genius solution? Raise the car, run higher, kill the downforce, destroy the balance, and pray. That's like putting stilts on a greyhound and wondering why it can't run anymore. So finally, after months of coping, praying, and lifting and coasting like your grandma in a school zone, Ferrari brought the magical rear suspension upgrade to Mugello. And the verdict didn't feel like much. Hamilton and Leclerc probably sipping espresso mid-stint. You cannot make this shit up. Now yes, it was a filming day. Yes, they were on demo tires. Yes, the setup was fixed by regulations. But still, if the drivers can't feel anything at all, you gotta ask, what exactly got upgraded? Did they just spray WD-40 on the wishbones and call it a day? Ferrari said the combined upgrade with the Austria floor tweak would be worth a tenth per lap. 1/10. That's about the same performance boost you get when Charles isn't stuck behind a Haas on a Friday. And now they're launching this thing at Spie on a sprint weekend. You get 1 hour of practice, no time to figure out if the suspension's actually working, and boom, straight into qualifying. It's like throwing a pizza in the oven, skipping the timer, and just hoping it's not raw in the middle. Classic Ferrari. Now here's the spicy part. Both Hamilton and Leclerc are starting to doubt the upgrade entirely. And when both drivers, a 7-time world champ and a podium merchant, say the suspension makes no difference, that's not feedback, that's a red alert. Even worse, Ferrari knows this might be the last meaningful upgrade of the season. No more big steps, no miracle packages, just this one final roll of the dice. And guess what? It might have come up snake eyes. Meanwhile, over at McLaren, Lando's out there dragging everyone like it's F1 2010 on easy mode. The team is flying, confidence is sky high, and the orange rocket just keeps getting better. Ferrari? Still dealing with power steering issues. Yes, power steering. Leclerc's been complaining about it since Saudi Arabia. He told Oscar Piastri his steering felt heavy with no assistance. Oscar probably blinked twice and mentally whispered, "Bro, that's not normal." Meanwhile, in Silverstone, both drivers complained the front end feels like it's possessed, like it's doing interpretive dance mid-corner. And now they're hoping to fix all that with a minor tweak in Hungary. That's like fixing a leaky submarine with duct tape and prayer. Let's talk big picture. Hamilton hasn't won a race in a year, and the last time he did, it was only because George got disqualified for being slightly too illegal. Leclerc hasn't won since 2019 Spa, and ever since, Ferrari's been stringing him along like a toxic ex that promises, "I've changed, I swear." And now, Ferrari's clinging to second place in the constructors like it's life support, 12 points ahead of Mercedes, the same Mercedes that Hamilton left, and might beat him now with their own reject car. So what are we looking at? A suspension upgrade that changed nothing, a steering system that might as well be from a lawnmower, drivers losing faith in the car, engineers crossing fingers and running wind tunnel prayers, and Spa, one of the fastest, most unforgiving circuits, waiting to expose it all. Honestly, Ferrari should be grateful Logan Sargent still exists, because without him going full baboon every Sunday, we'd talk about this SF25 disaster a lot more. Final thought? Ferrari had one last bullet in the chamber, and instead of firing a shot, they pulled the trigger and sneezed. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I want to see Hamilton cooking in red. I want to see Leclerc dance through Eau Rouge again. But right now, Ferrari's giving underwhelming side quest energy, and both drivers are starting to look like they've completed the storyline. Hamilton's already calling for focus on Project 678, a car that doesn't even exist yet. Leclerc's tired of begging the steering to behave. And if this rear suspension isn't the fix Ferrari promised, then this isn't a relaunch. It's just another episode of How to Fumble a Season Maranello edition. Like, subscribe, and drop your comments below. Do you still believe in the SF25 redemption arc? Or is it time to hit the reset button and move to 2026? And please, give Charles a steering wheel that doesn't double as a gym workout. See you at Spa. Rain, drama, and porpoising pending.